Welcome to ANC YouTube channel. This live class is all about talking about CAT 2018 Slot-1 analysis. Just give me 1 minute of time. We'll start the class. If any student has written Slot-1 analysis, those who are watching the video, kindly give your views. We'll start the class. Right. So CAT 2018 was no different when compared to CAT 2017. The pattern remained the same. CAT 2018. So let us talk about three sections. One by one. Three sections. Section 1, verbal ability and reading comprehension. Section 2, DI and LR. And section 3, quantitative aptitude. Now if you ask me in CAT 2018, as a person who wrote this examination, my personal analysis is this time the quantitative aptitude was moderately difficult, especially when I look at arithmetic questions. Arithmetic questions are very lengthy, and there were not even a single question which I got in my slot 1 which is from geometry where the diagrams are there. I need to draw the diagrams and I need to solve it. Compared to last year, DI and LR last year, as you know, it was pretty difficult, very intensive calculation. This year it was very straightforward. So I think the level of difficulty was little less compared to the last year. Verbal ability and reading comprehension, I would say it is more or less similar to the CAT 2017. I would say this year, one of the sections which was very difficult, from a student perspective will definitely be quantitative aptitude. And next comes I think if I rate the easy to medium level difficulty as per the section wise, if you ask me, my personal view is, first I would say DI and LR was pretty easy. Most of the questions were straightforward. Then it will be verbal ability and reading comprehension, and then it will be quantitative ability. Now let us look at section wise analysis. So this will be from easy to medium level difficulty. Now if I look at it, if I look at the section 1, if I look at it, verbal ability and reading comprehension, as you all know, there are 34 questions. In these 34 questions, there were 24 questions on reading comprehension. 24 questions on reading comprehension. And there were number of passages, RC passages were close to 5, out of which there is one short passage and there were 4 long passages. One short passage and there were 4 long passages. Short passage has got 4 questions each. Long passage has got 5 questions each. So total there were about 24 questions on RC, which were the first 24 questions. First 24 questions were on RC. If you ask me, first passage was very easy. Second was also very easy. Most of them are one-liners. Second was very easy. Third was easy. Fourth was moderate. And fifth was also moderate. So RC passages were not as difficult. It was pretty straightforward. The students who have a habit of reading good books and has gone through minimum 400 to 500 RC passages will not find it so difficult. Our fifth passage was moderate. First two were damn easy. The students who have seen the entire paper, who have scanned the entire paper which is present in the PDF format, will have an edge over others. Kindly ensure that you go scan the entire paper, and the selection of questions matters a lot. Now in this section 1, if I look at it, if I look at the second section, there were 10 questions. In the second section of VA and RC, there were 10 questions. In these 10 questions, there were questions, I got questions from para-jumbles, I got questions from summary based, I got questions from odd man out. I found few questions from odd man out and para-jumbles to be a little tricky, which is very time consuming. Rest of all questions are very straightforward. All questions are very straightforward. Verbal ability and reading comprehension. I would probably, from my few years of experience, I would suggest any number of attempts from 20 to 22. 20 to 22 will be the ideal attempts. If a student is scoring about close to 20 to 22 with 85 to 90% accuracy, I'm sure he is on the top few percentiles. In this CAT 2018 examination, Slot-1 has remained focused more on candidates' understanding of English comprehension, summarizing the paragraphs, and making the exam more friendly to academically diverse candidates, especially non-engineers. These with respect to Section 1. Section 1, 24 questions on RC, 10 questions on verbal ability. In the RC questions, there were questions with 4 questions each, and there were questions with 5 questions each, out of which 3 are very easy to easy level, 2 are moderate level, and most of the RC passages I found this year are pretty easy, and the students who can comprehend the passages will have a greater edge. Now if I look at it, if I look at the second section, DA and LR, if I look at the second section, which is DA and LR, in this DA and LR total there were about close to 32 questions. 32 questions. All questions are in sets of 4 questions each. 4 questions each. There are 16 questions on DI and there are 16 questions on LR. 16 questions on LR. In LR I got questions based on arrangements. I got questions based on puzzle. I got questions based on, and these arrangement questions, the best part about these arrangement and puzzle are more or less the similar models are already present in our books, and we have already seen so many questions discussed in our YouTube live classes. My enrolled students will definitely have an immense benefit out of it. In DA also I got an arrangement, and there is a Sudoku N into N Sudoku puzzle also which I got it, which can be cracked very easily because this was a part of a discussion in our numerical reasoning. This year I got a pie chart, very peculiar pie chart, where there were 2 pie charts where 2017, 2018, and this was given something related to 2017. I found this pie chart to be little calculation incentive, but remaining all the LR and DI questions, those who has familiarized with close to 1000 to 1500 LR and DI caselets will not find that much difficult. And for me, these DI and LR was easy compared to the last year, especially if you have seen the last year DI paper. Last year DI and LR was very time consuming, very intensive, very calculation based. But this year DI and LR was not that calculation intensive. Students who has practiced a lot can probably take the questions very, very easily. Now if you see in this one, my number of attempts will be anywhere from 18 to 20 attempts. 18 to 20 attempts with 85% accuracy. I think you are on a safer side. I would be giving little more number of attempts on verbal and RC because of the nature of the questions. DI and LR 18 to 20 attempts with 85% accuracy. I'm sure you are on the right direction. Now comes the last part, the most difficult part. The most difficult section this year in CAT 2000. In CAT 2018, the most difficult section this year, according to me, will be quantitative aptitude. In quantitative aptitude, because I am into quantitative aptitude, I can easily say that arithmetic was very difficult. This is the split, whatever I remember. Arithmetic, there were 13 questions. Arithmetic, there were 13 questions. Very lengthy, not one-liner or two-liner, very lengthy. It takes time to understand the question. Then there were geometry, 7 questions. Geometry, 7 questions, no diagrams. You have to understand the data, draw the diagrams, and then you have to solve it. Then algebra, I got 8 questions. Algebra, I got 8 questions. 4 questions I got from logarithm, which are straightforward, taken from our classroom notes. 4 questions are from logarithms. Number system, 4 questions. Number system questions are not that easy. You have to comprehend the numerical value, and they are all conceptual based questions. Number system. Then comes most easy questions in quantitative aptitude. I got Venn diagram 2 questions. Venn diagram 2 questions, very straightforward. This, for me, any student who has attempted these Venn diagram 2 questions probably would have got added advantage, because these 2 questions are straightforward. It can be solved in less than 45 seconds. So this is the breakup of the questions which I got it. This is the breakup of the questions which I got it. Arithmetic 13 questions, geometry 7 questions, algebra 8 questions, 4 questions are from logarithms. Number system. Number system will be 4 questions, and Venn diagrams it will be 2 questions. It's a combination was. This section difficulty level was, I would definitely rate it as moderate to difficult. Last year quantitative aptitude paper was relatively easy, but this year it is not that easy, especially if I look at arithmetic 13 questions, which takes time, which is a very time consuming question. I mean, the length of the words are very more, and you have to understand it, you have to complement it, then you have to convert into a mathematical expression, and you have to solve it. So I have attempted close to about 28 to 30 questions, but I, being a teacher, and this is not what I suggest, probably to 22 to 26 attempts. 22 to 26 attempts would be the ideal attempts. Yes, of course, I know students who are regularly following our online classes. Some of my students who have prepared CAT with me, they have attempted close to 28 to 30 questions, because their distinct forte is aptitude. Now, if you ask me again and again, CAT 2018 Slot 1 exam paper was on easier to medium level side and was quite similar to last year's CAT paper. Last year CAT paper DI and LR was tough, and this year CAT paper quantitative aptitude seems to be taking on the tougher side. So probably anywhere, if you ask me the overall attempts, according to me, any attempt of close to about 24 in VA and RC, 16 in DI and LR, right attempts, and 24 in quant. 24 in quant will definitely fetch greater than or equivalent to 92 to 95 percentile. This is what my experiential observation. 24 in VI and RC, 16 in DI and LR, 24 in quant. Any student who probably would have attempted close to 30 right in quant, greater than 22 in DI and LR, greater than 28 in VI and RC, there are good chances that he might end up getting close to greater than 98 plus percentile. Of course, it all depends upon the other people's competency and the number of attempts and everything. This is my overall analysis. I repeat again and again, there were questions. Just to sum it up the entire conversation, verbal and reading comprehension, total questions are 34, 24 questions on reading comprehension, 10 questions on verbal ability. In reading comprehension, there were about one short passage which is of 4 questions each. There were 4 long passages, each question of 5 questions each. First, second was very easy, third was easy, fourth and fifth was moderate. Number of ideal attempts would be somewhere about, on an average, about close to 20 to 22 attempts. And in verbal, I got questions based on parajumbles, I got questions based on summarizing, I got questions based on odd man out. Parajumbles, few parajumble questions was very easy. I found a little difficulty in odd man out questions. And in DI and LR was easy compared to the last year. In DI and LR, there is an equilibrium of 16 questions on DI and 16 questions on LR. Sectional difficulty was easy compared to last year. Most likely, I believe that this year quantitative aptitude will be the make or break section for the top business schools. And this year DI and LR, the caselets are not so lengthy, case sets are not so calculation intensive unlike last year. And there were questions based on arrangements, puzzles in LR. In DI, I found question based on an end-to-end Sudoku puzzle, an arrangements based question and a pie chart based question. I would say any attempts about close to 18 to 20 attempts with 85 to 90% accuracy. I think you are on the safer side. Quantitative aptitude predominantly dominated by arithmetic. Predominantly dominated by arithmetic. There were 13 questions. There were 13 questions. Right? Lengthy. Geometry, there were 7 questions. Algebra, there are 8 questions. I remember there were about close to 4 questions only from logarithms. Number system, there are 4 questions which are very conceptual. Venn diagram, there are 2 questions which are pretty easy. So this is the CAT 2017 slot number 1 analysis. Ensure that there are few things which I want to suggest to all the students. In case if you have seen the entire paper, scanned paper, if you see the topmost rightmost, there is a button which enables you to see the entire paper. If you have scanned the paper and identified the questions for the first few minutes, then attacked the question, probably you are on the right side. This is the analysis of the slot 1 analysis. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot for watching it. Thank you.